tried to make it the funeral, but it was just...
It was awesome.
Kurt was an interesting man.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
What do you mean by that?
Well...
He's very religious, so that is the problem. You guys are trying to put words in my mouth, okay?
It's up to you.
Okay. Am I free to go and call one?
You are free to leave.
Okay. I really didn't. I promise you I didn't. And I don't know what you're even saying about Austin shooting a gun in the backyard.
This is Donna Thorngren, employing the age-old killer's defense of claiming detectives are putting words in her mouth.
We checked everybody, every single person. The killer was in the house.
It wasn't me.
But what Donna doesn't realize is that her story of innocence is about to be contradicted by the shocking testimony of her own son's closest friends. Investigators would find a strong financial motive in the form of a $320,000 life insurance policy and hear how Donna planned to redecorate the victim's room. Now, every single denial Donna makes in this room will be used by prosecutors to expose every lie and ultimately send her to prison for life.
Anyway, we are weird, I know. Sounds so terrible, and it wasn't that bad, I guess. Not hurt Kurt. First of all...
That's not the question.
A little after 10 a.m. on Sunday, January 12, 2003, law enforcement in Ada County, Idaho, responded to a frantic 911 call reporting a shooting at the Thorngren family home. First responders in Meridian, Idaho, discovered 42-year-old Curtis Thorngren shot to death in the bathroom of his family home. Initial reports from his wife, Donna, suggested a home invasion had turned deadly. She told police the day began with her leaving Kurt's lunch in the living room before heading to a movie.
The interview that we're going to be comprehensive that we did the first night with the other folks, the other family members, and so you're certainly not under arrest. Okay. You're free to leave at any time. The doors are closed for our privacy because there's still some other stuff going on. Okay. This is
kind of what I was writing down.
Okay.
11 in the morning, Mrs. And I told her to call me back. I didn't want to get up.
It's kind of early.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
She wanted to know if I was going to church, and I was lazy, so I didn't. Because we had planned for 2 weeks to go to this movie.
Which one was in the...
Made in Manhattan, like a girls' movie.
Okay, chick flick?
Yeah. And, but then it just got totally messed up.
Investigators, however, immediately noticed deep issues. The Thorngrens had been fiercely fighting over whether their 17-year-old son, Austin, would be kicked out just 2 days later, on his 18th birthday.
40.
Okay, so if I was to put a line through here, what time would we be comfortable with? And the Taco Bell receipt says 10:46.
Yeah, so I would say 10:30, because I went through Taco Time and then went to Taco Bell.
Okay. And I think we talked about that. You said...
Yeah, because I gave you that receipt.
Yeah, but remember you said something about they wouldn't serve you at the drive-thru or something?
Yeah, the Taco Time people didn't come through the drive-thru, so I assumed they were closed. So it irritated me, so I went to Taco Bell.
Officers discovered 42-year-old Kurt Thorngren, a dedicated employee at Hewlett-Packard, and a husband and father of two, deceased from a gunshot wound in the family's bathroom. Kurt was known by his family and friends to be very religious and had recently taken strong action to protect his family, including implementing a guard schedule to prevent break-ins at their home. Tragically, he was found murdered just 2 days before his son's 18th birthday. When detectives arrived, the scene itself was immediately suspicious. Kurt's body lay in the master bathroom, shot to death. The CSI team noted that his routine, hanging up his coat and washing up, was interrupted before he ever sat down to eat the lunch Donna left for him.
And that was like 10:47.
Okay.
And when I got home, I put the food in the microwave. Didn't turn it on, but just set it there.
Okay.
And then I went in and I opened Kurt's pop. I don't know if he told you Kurt does nothing. Kurt doesn't put gas in his car. It's just something
We've learned a lot about your family.
We're kind of strange, aren't we?
No.
I have always babied Kurt. I mean, that's all I want to do is get married and have kids. And so I wait on Kurt hand and foot. And it's not a bad thing. I enjoy it.
This exact detail led investigators to conclude the killer was someone who knew his routine intimately. Donna's initial story attempted to distract from this conclusion. She claimed she had left his lunch, gone to the cinema, and only discovered the body upon her return. She consistently urged police to focus on a random robbery or the possibility of her troubled son Austin being responsible. But the absence of forced entry immediately directed suspicion back to her. But as you're about to see, Donna's story that she was innocently at the movies is about to be utterly dismantled by one single detail, a $320,000 secret she had hoped to keep buried. But Donna gave detectives enough evidence with her own bizarre lack of emotion. While discussing her recently murdered husband, Donna said he's very religious. So that is the problem.
Kurt was an interesting man.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
What do you mean by that?
Well,
He's very religious, so that is the problem between him.
This callous verbal slip, made in the midst of a murder interrogation, provided a clear window into her true feelings and a potential source of deep marital conflict and her hidden financial motive. Which alibi will Donna use to try and survive the next few hours of questioning? Which of her close friends will betray her? And what will they tell detectives? And finally, will the $320,000 secret prove to be the motive that ultimately locks her away forever?
you been?
Okay.
I didn't get my notebook. This has been a heck of a week, hasn't it?
It has. We're exhausted.
All right, hang on.
The start of the interrogation immediately raised red flags. While Donna claimed the passing days had been hard, her tone was oddly relaxed, even casual.
A long week, probably for you too, huh?
Yes.
How's things been going?
Okay, it's off and on.
Back and forth, back and
Yeah,
forth.
it's hard. We want to get going on back and try to get back to normal. Somewhat. I mean,
If we can have, normal is something we're going to shoot for again.
Is everything going okay, though? You doing all right?
yeah,
Sorry I didn't make it to the funeral.
I get good drugs.
You get good drugs? Nothing wrong with good drugs.
Yeah,
Sorry I didn't make it to the funeral, but
it was awesome.
It was a big funeral. I've heard several people say awesome as a definition for it.
Yeah, I mean, they estimated between 1,000 to 1,500.
You're kidding me.
No, it wasn't little. The whole
Yeah,
church.
it was standing room only.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, it was, I was impressed. There was lots of people
yeah.
there.
I mean, it was amazing because all my friends and all his friends, and we grew up at Central, so we know everybody there. And so there's a lot of people that don't even go there. I tried to sit down because when I talked to you, I was totally off.
Yeah, and I was a bit taken aback by the whole thing too, because it was, it was quite a scene. There wasn't a lot of motion going on, and I'm trying to take notes, and I walk out in the rain, sitting them, and I'm like, I was using that felt pen, and I'm going, what did she say?
I was totally wrong. So I gave you the receipt for lunch. Do you still have that?
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Donna makes a big point out of claiming she was totally overwhelmed and emotionally compromised by the tragedy. But she seems to be missing the fact that describing her husband's funeral as awesome and amazing is the exact opposite of the reaction of a grieving widow. And detectives are already mirroring her behavior to let her keep talking that way, hoping she will continue to dig herself into a hole of callous and incriminating statements.
Because we had planned for 2 weeks to go to this movie.
Which one was in the...
Made in Manhattan, like a girls' movie.
Okay, chick flick?
Yeah. And, but then it just got totally messed up. But then I got up, and I was thinking Kurt left like at 7:30. But I don't know, because he went to a deaf Sunday school class. So you could check what time.
Would it help if we looked at this together and talked to her?
You could find out what time. But when I got up, the dogs sleep in the living room.
Okay.
And I'm sure you guys found blankets in the closet. The dogs sleep on the blankets.
Right, right.
And so I got the dogs out, vacuumed the floor, because I have to vacuum every day because dogs are in the house.
Oh, that's when the vacuum was out.
Yeah. I hadn't done the hall yet because there was no sense in doing it because I was painting. And I needed to do that thingy up there in the hall. like where it's like a vent.
Kind of like that vent.
Yeah, but it's huge.
Okay. Call that return or something like that.
I don't know. It's just dirty.
Mine is too. I vacuum all as well.
So Donna obviously knows that when recounting the moments leading up to her husband's murder, she should be focusing on the key details of the crime. And yet, that's not at all what she did. Rather than provide a succinct timeline of her alibi, she immediately gets into irrelevant, distracting, and bizarre details. This is classic deflection. She is clearly attempting to overwhelm the detectives with inconsequential noise, hoping to mask the massive hole in her story, the missing window of time when she was supposedly at the cinema.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
We're Coke addicts. We're around Diet Coke.
Coke addict? You mean?
Diet Coke addicts.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we got 9 a.m.
And then I went home and I started painting because Grandma was meeting her at church, and church starts at 10, and Grandma didn't get there till shortly after 10. And so she wanted to know if I knew where Grandma was. At 10, and I was painting. And if you look, I paint like a little at a time.
Okay.
The bathroom.
Would this have been on her
Cell phone.
Okay.
It's probably on the caller ID at home too.
Okay.
And then hit 15 to taco time, but I think she's about a half hour behind. I think I painted, from when I got home and finished cleaning up the house. And then went to taco time, but I do know I was at taco time, I thought 10:30, because taco time doesn't open, or they weren't open. Nobody came to the thingy, and they just might have been slow, and I got ticked. I went to Taco Bell.
Right.
And so I went to Taco Bell and got Kurt's food. And I came home, but that would have been probably 10:50 instead of 10:30.
Okay.
She seems desperate to place herself far away from the house by a specific time. But the fact that she focuses so much on taco time versus Taco Bell will soon lead investigators to question the veracity of her entire, overcomplicated story. What Donna didn't realize was that her strange composure and nervous giggling would not protect her. Detectives were already focused on every inconsistency, knowing her entire story was about to unravel.
Just because, especially, and this is going to sound really strange, but that truck is like my baby, and it's an argument between Austin and mine, that it's mine and it's his. It was my dad's fishing truck, and when Dad died, Austin kind of got it, but I want it.
Okay.
I mean, it's got 170,000 miles, but when the transmission gun goes out, we always plan on putting it in because it was my dad's. And
So it's got some sentimental value.
yeah.
So is the back roads then from
Taco Time, I probably went down, or Taco Bell, I probably went down.
Okay, so you leave the house. So this is leaving Longford?
Yeah, probably 10:30. Does it take about 15 minutes to get to Taco Bell? Taco Time?
Depends on what
and
day
going
or
to Taco
time.
Bell. Probably about 10:30 because I went to Taco Time first and then went over to Taco Bell, and that was 10:47.
Okay.
By focusing on a secondary conflict, a petty argument over an old truck, she is attempting to distract detectives from the primary conflict, Kurt's life insurance and the decision to kick Austin out. Every time the timeline gets tight, Donna pivots to an inconsequential but emotional side story.
And when I got home, I put the food in the microwave. Didn't turn it on, but just set it there.
Okay.
And then I went in and I opened Kurt's pop. I don't know if he told you, Kurt does nothing. Kurt doesn't put gas in his car. It's just something
We've learned a lot about your family.
We're kind of strange, aren't we?
No.
I have always babied Kurt. I mean, that's all I wanted to do was get married and have kids. And so I wait on Kurt hand and foot. And it's not a bad thing. I enjoy it.
Okay, so
He didn't make
This is a classic interrogation strategy by Donna. Detectives knew her initial story was weak, so here she tries to preemptively explain away any marital strife by insisting she was the perfect wife. However, detectives already knew about the $320,000 policy and the fierce fighting over Austin. This carefully constructed narrative of spousal devotion will be used to show that her true devotion was to her own financial future, not her husband's life.
So you give him the toothbrush and the cell phone at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that way I could get, I know we're weird.
That's okay.
That's not weird.
He hasn't had a cell phone, but when he started being naughty, I took it away.
Right.
And Manny has it now, so.
Okay, so then here we have sometime around 11:15, turned on the microwave.
Yeah. When I saw Kurt come around, I was in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
I had changed and put the brush in the sink. I think the paintbrush is probably still laying in the kitchen sink. Okay. Soaking, and I walked in, turned the microwave on for a minute, and that was right when I saw Kurt at the corner of Willowbrook. And
Do you have the cell phone on with you now?
You know, I think it's out in my mom's car charging.
That's okay.
My charger's at the house, so I have to do it in there.
I'm hearing you're doing the same thing.
I know you burn the thing and you're like, I'm out of one bar.
This unnatural level of detail points toward a deeply rehearsed and constructed lie. Little did she know, detectives didn't care about the toothbrush. They knew the physical evidence at the crime scene proved Kurt was shot before he ever reached that kitchen tray she was so desperate to set. Detectives already had all the ammunition they needed, and it was the testimony of multiple witnesses. Donna had spent the last hour weaving a chaotic tale of fast food receipts, family routines, and old trucks. What she didn't know was that detectives had spoken to her son Austin's friends, including Adam Ketterling, who was ready to tell police that Donna had discussed the murder and the life insurance money. More critically, the detectives also knew Kurt's precise daily routine, and they knew he died before he ever got to the dinner table. They are now prepared to use this unreleased crime scene detail to catch her in a direct lie.
But he always wears his rings. Except for, he doesn't sleep in his rings. And when he washes his hands, he takes his rings off. He's very, very particular about things like that.
Okay, so you're in the computer room and you called to Kurt that I was leaving for the movie.
And the food was in the living room.
Okay. And so you're in the computer room and you call out to him this, and he's in the master bedroom.
Yeah.
So the food's not in the microwave. You put it on the tray.
No, I went and I turned it on, walked it in and did I put it down there when I went to put it on? Don't know if I did or not. No, I just turned it on, walked over, ran some water, put the thingy in the brush in the sink, and then took the plate and went in the living room. And dropped it off and then went right into the office.
Playing on the couch? Or,
I can't remember if I did the couch or if the tray was there.
did you have Coke with you?
Yes, I had. I carried that in the living room, stuck it on the floor earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When I poured it, I stuck it in the living room a long time ago, so it was probably real watered down, but he didn't care because he didn't have to wait on his stuff, so it was okay.
You lost me on that.
Okay.
She poured the pop quite a while ago.
Yeah, at 10,
early.
like at almost 11, I didn't pour a lot. I just started it. So I don't know if it was poured completely yet or not.
Okay.
Because I just...
And that would, you would pour that in the kitchen?
As I was walking into the living room.
Okay, no, that wouldn't, I think we talked about this, would that balance on the couch, the cushion?
It on the floor.
Oh.
If I didn't stick it on a tray, I'd stick it on the floor.
Okay. And then he would fend for himself to get the tray, is that what?
Mm-hmm.
You don't like ice or nothing? Just...
Yeah, there's ice in it. I put 4. Okay. 4 ice cubes.
Does he like 4?
Yeah.
Has to be 4?
Yeah.
What happens if there's 3?
Yeah.
Okay, probably go get one. I don't know.
Does he like a paper cup or something?
He only drinks out of glass.
As opposed to?
Plastic.
Because plastic.
Is there a reason?
No.
What about the can?
Oh no, Kurt never drinks out of the can. And Kurt always drinks or eats with a plate.
The fast food stuff?
It just drives my mom nuts because last night when we got McDonald's, we eat with plates.
Actually, my wife does that.
We eat in the living room, but we eat with plates. We never eat at the table, hardly.
I want to use the table, but I don't bother getting a plate out. Maybe I don't want to clean it.
I do
It
it.
helps balance a little bit.
Yeah, and
Stability.
Maybe I'm just strange.
nobody does dishes but me, so it doesn't matter.
Donna claims she put the food on the couch for Kurt and that he would fend for himself to get a tray. But investigators already know this is a lie because the crime scene evidence proves Kurt was shot before he ever reached that tray. Donna is using a torrent of irrelevant information, from ice cube counts to the need to clean the air return, to distract detectives from the single moment that matters, the time she left the house. Every word out of her mouth is digging the hole deeper, and her focus on mundane minutia proves she is rehearsing a story, not recalling the truth. Even the timeline proves the contradictions. So let's break down Donna's timeline versus reality. She claims she left the house at 10:30 a.m. after a confusing, elaborate trip between Taco Time and Taco Bell. She then states she saw Kurt arrive home sometime around 11:15 a.m. while she was in the living room, supposedly alive. But here is the critical contradiction. The medical examiner determined Kurt's death occurred almost immediately after he arrived home and began his daily routine. He was shot in the bathroom and died before he could follow through on his routine of changing clothes and sitting down to eat. This means Donna's timeline of seeing him alive at 11:15 a.m. simply cannot be true. The evidence proves that Donna was still in the house during the small, fatal window of time when her husband was murdered.
They are HP. HP pays the bill. Kurt does. Kurt is very particular about keeping work stuff separate. He generally doesn't, although he does let us, we're allowed to use the phone, but we're not supposed to let people call on it because it is a work line. And so he gets really ticked, like if we call somebody and it's on their caller ID, so they call us back. And he will ask you, if you call on his work phone, he will tell you, this is a work phone, you're not allowed to call on.
What number I want?
The work phone. Because she knows Kurt wouldn't answer the home phone.
Let's stop there just 1 second. The reason everybody doesn't leave together from Bentley.
They didn't show up. We thought we were supposed to meet there. And then also,
if someone was to bring it up, well, why didn't?
I could have. I didn't even think about it.
Okay. I mean, maybe it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can tell you if the truck's at the house. I mean, I have a friend in Portland. If you call her, she can tell you. I'll call her on my cell phone and jack up the radio and say, I got my own truck, because this truck is very important to me. I mean, it's just an old truck. It's got tons of miles, but it was my dad's.
It means a lot to you.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So there's. Okay. I just think that could be something we need to make sure that we're very clear on.
Yeah.
That can't come back and bite us later.
It does seem easier that you guys get in one vehicle and just swing by there than shoot out and go to the movie theater.
Yeah. But I mean, look, it was.
Detectives are using a powerful tactic here called the interruption, which signals to Donna that she has said something highly suspicious, even if they aren't explicitly challenging her. They're making her feel the need to immediately self-correct and justify her convoluted story about the truck and the carpooling. And Donna takes the bait, desperately trying to prove the sentimental value of the old truck, and even suggesting that police call a friend in Portland to verify it. She completely fails to see that by justifying trivial details, she's reinforcing her guilt and building a massive web of lies that they will soon use to choke her alibi. But detectives hadn't played their ace yet. What Donna didn't realize was that they were about to use her own husband's daily routine to prove she was the only person who could have known he was dead before he ever got to the dinner table.
Because I had raked all the weeds and dog mess out of the middle because I was fixing that dog run. Mm-hmm. And I was going to finish that when I got home from the movie. And I was going to bag up all that stuff, and I decided I was too lazy. So I wasn't going to do it. I'd do it next week. So we decided to go take the truck, where I thought we were supposed to meet at Grandma's. But then don't know if she called from the cell phone or from the house, and she was crying, and I couldn't understand what she was saying.
This lack of maternal instinct and her focus on being too lazy is her attempt to normalize her extreme detachment.
So I went home. And I didn't have a cell phone to get a hold of anybody in the truck to
Right.
find out what's going on. And Ketterling's mom's car.
All right.
Our kids always leave stuff when they shouldn't have.
And see, they were really paranoid.
Okay. So we talked.
This is a pattern of deflection. When questioned about her own actions, she immediately introduces a chaotic external element, almost always.
A little bit about where you were, and that's good. And we get a sense that, now we were at your house quite a bit, and we had search teams searching through your house, looking for evidence, trying to figure out what in the heck happened there. And as we look, and as we attend the funeral, and as we try to piece this together, Kurt was an interesting man.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
What do you mean by that?
Well,
He's very religious, so that is the problem between him and Austin. Although Austin was going to move out Tuesday and to live with my mom. I don't know if anybody's told you that.
well, there's a lot going on about that. So what's the down and dirty skinny on that?
Because he smokes pot. Austin doesn't want him in the house, or want him to move out when he...
So he's kicking him out, telling him he couldn't live there.
No.
Because he's not conforming.
Yeah, I guess so. But that was fine with Austin. He could be at grandma's.
How'd that make you feel? I mean, that's your son.
You know what?
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, it's...
What was it?
What police actually found was that the problem wasn't religion or Austin. It was the $320,000 policy and her deep-seated resentment.
What was it like? What was it like living with Kurt? We're learning that as we're trying to piece this together, did you have like separate rooms?
I slept on the couch, and I have done that. I did go in.
Okay.
But
You did what now?
we did sleep together, but I slept the rest of the night on the couch.
Hey, you occasionally had sex? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
But I need to know when Austin comes home.
That's what I mean. Help us understand if those statements come up.
Well, understand.
Are we to believe that there's
It was
no
not...
love in the home, or you just
no.
were on the couch so you could watch what's going on
That's
coming out of
it.
that front door?
And the dogs are in the living room, and they're just now getting so they don't chew. And so they can jump that gate. And so you probably found a gate. I put that around so they can't get on the furniture.
Detectives are using a technique called the false friend. Acting concerned about no love in the home, Donna scrambles to neutralize this sign of marital strife, insisting they had sex all the time and that the couch was for watching the dogs. This is her desperate attempt to manufacture a facade of domestic bliss, knowing that the existence of deep marital issues is critical motive evidence. But what is about to happen will reveal her true, callous nature when the detectives finally strip away her meticulously crafted lies. Donna had spent the entire interrogation reciting the exact order of her husband's daily routine to prove her devotion and innocence. But that perfect recitation was about to become her downfall, because the lead investigator was about to ask something Donna got confused about.
Describe your relationship between you and Kurt, the last, up until his death. Were you guys getting along?
We fought like normal people.
Were you disconnecting a little bit with things? You need to help us understand a day in the life of the marriage, your marriage.
Sure.
Take us back to this time. We saw this picture. Newlyweds.
She is trying to normalize desperation. Detectives recognize this as the perfect psychological setup to introduce the $320,000 life insurance policy, transforming her financial problem into a powerful motive for murder.
I mean, I loved Kurt. Kurt, anybody can tell you, Kurt loved me. There was a period that it was really rough, and that's when we got the separate accounts.
Okay, tell us about that.
Because I had a lot of debts. I charge a lot. And you'll find that I do. Because I buy things for my kids, and so that way his was separate, so I had to pay for my own charges.
Is that a weakness? Was that a fault that you have? Is it?
I guess.
Well,
We all have faults. We all have weaknesses.
Here's an example. I interviewed a gal one time that got so bad she was addicted to the home shopping network, and she got credit cards under her mom's name, and then ran the credit cards, and we worked a case. But I mean, as far as is it a spoiling situation that you can't say no, or is there a little bit of compulsion that we need to worry?
No, I do it for my kids. And then there was a lot, like, I'm sure you know, we have quite a bit in attorney fees, and Mom paid for it up front. And because our attorney's $7,500.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ferguson is?
Yeah. But that's actually good, because it's a set fee.
Yeah, so it's not going to keep going up and up and up and up. Every phone call, it goes up another $50.
Well, if he pleads it out, he makes money. If he goes to trial, he loses money. So it's probably
absolutely crazy. Every little thing, a little place, that would have been, like I told you, he's kind of like that too. And having things perfectly the same each way, I'm not organized, and that would eat on me after so many years. Of like, man, can't you get your clothes out of the closet so I can put mine in there? And then his time away from home, he's gone doing his sign language, which he was exceptional at, working.
See, and I think
he takes his vacation to do the sign language.
That's just 1 week a month, and I would usually take a day off during that week, and we'd sleep in the living room before we had the dogs. I mean, even then, the girls knew that was like true. I mean,
I don't know.
And they make it sound like he was gone all the time. He would get off work, and the last couple of months he was off because he had to use all that time at vacation.
All that FTO time he had, but he spent that with
he would go to his mother's, which when we were first married, that would have bothered me because there was a jealousy, mother-in-law thingy. But now it never bothered me. And I understand, I have little kids here all day. Who wants to... He couldn't go in the bedroom because I nap a kid in there.
In your bedroom?
Yeah. There's probably a playpen on the floor.
Did that bother him to have...
No, it didn't.
That's his space? Because your bedroom was kind of his space, it looked like to me.
Yeah, no, it didn't bother him because it was a kid that was in a playpen and I couldn't get out.
Not slobbering on his pillow.
Yeah. No, that was... but he would come home after work, and then I would leave. He would be home by 5:30 because I left at 5:30 when the daycare came, and went to the dry cleaners and would be there till 6:30 and then come home. And then we had the evening, and Kurt and I are both very lazy, and yes, he would be sitting doing his crossword, and I would be sitting reading a book, watching TV, but we're there.
Did you make, not that Kurt was a bad guy, but I mean, did you...
This final, exhaustive detail dump is her last attempt to convince police that her life with Kurt, though quirky, was not the site of a premeditated murder.
I think somebody else said that.
I think so. We're getting hundreds of tips on what happened. Okay, a good percentage of those tell us to focus inside the house. Okay. They say it's not an intruder. You need to look inside that house. And Austin agreed. Yeah. Austin agreed. 50% of the tips will probably say it's me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Austin and I and Jamie, we had a pretty good discussion. And
Austin talked well.
We've got a pretty good, between 9 days at your house, between all the interviews that these guys have done, between Austin, we know you can say what you want. But life at Longford wasn't roses.
No.
Okay. And people are telling us a whole lot of stuff. We're learning a whole lot. People are a little put out here that we've got a pretty nice guy dead.
Yeah.
Loved his family.
Yeah.
But they see, we all have two faces. It's the face we put on when we leave that house in the morning. And we put on another face. And we come back and we put on the other face. The face we show only our family.
Austin has pulled and Kurt have pulled no punches. People know.
But both of them have two faces. Both of them have two different sides. You have Kurt, who to the public is going to church, Christian guy, hard worker, doing the sign language. Yet at home, he's withdrawn from Austin. He's not giving that support. He's not sacrificing, maybe taking him hunting, which wouldn't be that big of a sacrifice other than he couldn't hurt an animal supposedly, but he could find the means to get somebody to help with that. He's not helping you with that anyway, but helping Austin. Now Austin and you're stuck with your daycare and the kids and then Austin and trying to keep that all squared away. And Kurt's back in his own little world playing crossword puzzles, which
You make it sound so terrible, and it wasn't that bad.
She concludes by minimizing the entire situation. It wasn't that bad, I guess. But detectives will put an end to her facade.
What's the worst things? And keep in mind that we have talked to
I'm sure you have.
lots of people.
What's the worst thing that you've heard?
And we're getting things, different people telling us the same things.
I'm trying to think. Usually there's not a lot of...
Rumors?
I would not hurt Kurt. First of all,
That's not the question.
Watch Donna's face when the detective reveals they have spoken to lots of people and are getting the same things from different sources. This is a classic psychological pressure tactic to make her feel isolated. Her reaction is not denial, but a desperate question. What's the worst thing you've heard? She's trying to gauge how much the police know, rather than asserting her innocence. When she finally attempts a last-ditch deflection, the detective shuts her down, exposing the lie by saying, "That's not the question, Donna." Her story has collapsed, and the detectives are now running the show.
then go do it.
Okay. And let me listen to you very literally. I did not do it.
I did not do it. I really did not do it.
Are you saying then that you had it done?
No, I didn't. I have 50.
Kurt is so perfect in the way but listen to me. When he comes home, his routine is this. Just as you told us, put the brown coat in there, wash his hands, change clothes, and eat.
Mm-hmm.
He died before he ever got to the dinner table, before he ever got to that tray.
Despite the overwhelming evidence and the fact that the detective just used a single unreleased crime scene detail to prove her entire alibi was a lie, Donna refuses to admit the truth. She will lawyer up, and this interrogation will end abruptly.
The things that drove you crazy?
It didn't.
Okay, the thing...
You know what? I think I need to get an attorney because you guys are trying to put words in my mouth.
Donna never confesses, not in this interrogation, and not in any subsequent interview. She holds firm to her final statement. It wasn't me. She maintains that her husband was killed by an intruder or a random assailant. Despite the absolute lack of forced entry and the fact that the detectives presented unreleased, specific crime scene details that only the killer could know, her silence doesn't help her. The evidence of premeditation, the massive life insurance policy, and the witness testimony speaks louder than any denial could. The interrogation ends with Donna demanding an attorney, the final desperate move of a woman whose lies have run out. Donna Thorngren was arrested immediately following the interrogation and formally charged with first-degree murder of her husband, Curtis. In a shocking move, her son, Austin Thorngren, was also initially charged as an accessory. This charge was later dropped by the prosecution in exchange for Austin's full cooperation and testimony against his mother. The decision to use her own son as a star witness was a clear sign to Donna that the prosecution believed they had a case built on family betrayal and financial motive, not just speculation. The trial for Donna Thorngren became a media spectacle, focusing on the dark underbelly of a seemingly normal family. The prosecution's case was methodical. They presented the $320,000 life insurance policy as the clear, overwhelming motive. They used Austin's testimony to describe the growing marital strife and the fear the children had of their mother. The prosecution's key moment was the introduction of the unreleased crime scene detail, proving Donna lied about the time of death and her presence in the house. The defense argued that Austin, who had a history of drug use, was the more likely killer and that his testimony was coerced and exchanged for dropped charges. They painted Donna as a victim of her husband's detachment and a vengeful son. However, the sheer weight of the financial motive and the consistency of the evidence proved too much for the defense to overcome. After several weeks of emotional testimony and just 2 days of deliberation, the jury returned its verdict. On October 1st, 2010, Donna Thorngren was found guilty of first-degree murder. Her composure, which had unnerved detectives during the interview, finally broke as the verdict was read. The jury was convinced that she had premeditated the murder of her husband for financial gain. Donna Thorngren was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge handed down the harshest possible sentence, noting the cold and calculated nature of the crime, a murder motivated by money and carried out against a man who was devoted to his family. She is currently incarcerated in the Idaho Department of Correction, serving out her sentence for the murder of Curtis Thorngren. Donna Thorngren thought she could use her status as a devoted wife and mother to execute a calculated murder for profit, but her lies were too frantic, her grief too shallow, and her motive too obvious. In the end, it was her own son's testimony that brought her down, proving that some secrets, no matter how carefully hidden, always come to light. This case shows how one piece of evidence can change everything. If you found this breakdown valuable, subscribe for more true crime analysis, like the video to support the channel, and comment below with cases you want to see covered.